Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fate's Stay Night. Last time, Trouble in Paradise. Shirou and Saber got into a nasty fight. Shirou was trying to treat her to a good time out on the town, but things turned really ugly when Shirou started being upfront about what he hopes Saber will do, and what he thinks Saber deserves. Since Saber wasn't having it, so a lot of drama ensued, but eventually Shirou came back at night after passing out at home to go fetch Saber, who hadn't moved from the bridge. And on the way back, who should show up but Greg? Evidently, Greg is very tired of waiting. It has been 10 years since he asked Saber to be his, and it's looking like he doesn't want to take no for an answer, so let me just check real quick if I have my sound on. Yes, I will keep voices on, just for the time being, because Greg's kind of still new and a fight's about to begin. Should be interesting. Saber is asking for my forgiveness for that low chance. Probably. She knows she has no way to defeat that servant. She can't do that. This is different from when we fought Berserker. For some reason, I know that making Saber fight the servant would be bad. No, I may know the reason. I felt it when I saw his noble phantasm last night. Saber will not be able to beat this man no matter what. It's not about skills as a swordsman. Before that, the prerequisites are wrong. As long as they are heroic spirits, no heroic spirit will be able to beat him.
違う。逃げるのはお前の方だ、セイバー。
No, you're the one who's running away, Saber.
シロー。
I cover Saber and Fate. Oh my god, Shirou, you goddamn idiot. Oh. You've seen Saber count like not count, but fight for at least like 6 or 7 times now. You've seen what servants are. You've sparred against her, and you've even come to the realization that even Saber cannot beat this man. What are you doing? Didn't you just have a big fight about this? How about your selfish selflessness? The self-destruction? Come on, dude.
ほう、そうか。マスターがいたのだったな。あまりのみすぼらしさゆえ、犬か何かだと思ったぞ。
Oh, yeah, you had a master, huh? He was so shabby that I thought he was a dog or something. He says happily. The man raises his hand and slowly brings his fingers together. I feel sick. I'll be killed if I don't want to retreat now. Wait, actually... No, Greg can't afford to kill Shirou. If Shirou dies, Saber will disappear. He can't kill him. As long as Greg wants Saber, then yeah. But still, I suppose there's nothing stopping him from horribly mangling Shirou, so... There's no reason or logic behind it. I just feel instinctively that I'll be killed if I stay in front of him and...
行け、セイバー。
Go, Saber!
ここからなら境界が近い。あいつなら、あれが相手でもお前をかくまってくれるはずだ。
The church is nearby. It should be able to shelter you even against him. Really? I doubt it. I push Saber away and run as if shaking off the premonition of death attacking me. There's only one thing to do. I'll run up to him, project Saber's sword like when I fought Berserker, and... I saw that coming from a light year away. My body flies. What happened? The instant that man clicked his fingers, something appeared right beside me. I can tell it was a big hammer, and that I was smashed away, flying across the ground like trash. I can't move. I feel like all the bones in my body are broken. It'll be fine. Ribs grow back. No, they don't. I can't feel my limbs. My pain is numbed, and I can't even tell if I'm alive or not.
殺しはせん。今ここで貴様を潰せばセイバーも消えてしまうからな。不本意ではあるが聖杯を呼ぶまでは生かしておいてやろう。
I will not kill you. Saber would disappear if I killed you now. It is against my will, but I shall let you live until the Holy Grail appears. Yeah, nailed it. The man laughs. I move my hands to try to get up, but my body won't move at all. My blood isn't flowing. It feels like the energy to move my body has stopped reaching my limbs.
だが思い上がるなよ雑種。貴様なぞいなくともサーバントを存命させる方法はある。単に今の状態が最も手がかからぬだけだ。それ以上さえずるのなら殺すぞ。
But do not be conceited, mongrel. There are ways to let a servant stay in this world without you. It is just that this is the least troublesome state. I will kill you if you annoy me. That's true. I wonder if, you can force feed a servant's souls. What if Greg here killed a bunch of humans, got a hold of their fleeting souls, and then, proverbially shoved it down Saber's throat, as it were? Is that a thing? That kills my mind. He will kill me. If I move anymore, he will do so without hesitation. How could anyone move after being told that?
Shirou!
Saber tries to run to me.
どこに行く？邪魔者はいなくなったのか。お前が向かうべきはそのようなクズではなかろう。
Where are you going? There is no one left to intrude. That piece of shit is not the man you should be running to. But the man won't allow that. He stands before me and waits for Saber to come to him. Alright, I've had enough of the voicing. Let's turn off the voices and kick things into high gear again. Saber stops and glares at the man. There's about 10 meters between them. It's a distance Saber would be able to close instantly, but... Huh? It seems you're not willing to come to me. I find that hard to understand. A heroic spirit like you must know how valuable it is to be chosen by me. Nonsense! I am a king, even though I am a heroic spirit. I will not submit to you. Is that so? Even if you are a king, you are still a woman. It should be a woman's joy to be held down and be... Oh, God! Ew! I don't even want to say that. Gross! Wow. This guy just went from a lovable asshole to a hateable asshole. Now I just hate him. So why do you refuse? It is not like you are a virgin. Are you scared to become mine? Good lord. Gross. You... Do not resent me so. I do not only take. I shall give you pleasure equally. If you are to become mine, I will literally give you everything in this world. Be proud. I have accepted that you have such value. The man moves. He opens his arms as if to accept Saber. That is right. You do not need to be a guardian, nor will you return to your point of death. Whoa, does Greg know about Saber's situation? Yo. Maybe they talked about it in the Fourth War. Huh. I will say this once more, Saber. Be mine. Let us enjoy our second lives in this world. I refuse. I have no interest in such things, and most of all, I do not want to live with you. She does not nod or retreat. Saber looks at Archer head on. He stops. I don't know what's so funny, but the man starts laughing. Great! That is what I expect from the woman I chose. Yes, there must be at least one that will not obey me. Oh no, he's into it. Oh! Alright, then I shall do so by force. After I obtain the Holy Grail, I shall pour the contents onto you. Rejoice, Saber. You will not need your master after that. You know, it's kind of twisted that, in a way, Shirou and Greg want the same thing for Saber, for her to persist in this world and give up on her death wish. It's kind of poetic. Oh, like dark reflections. I mean, obviously, Greg's intentions are way messed up, and in that way incomparable to what Shirou's thinking, but even still, at the end of the day, they want Saber to persist. They want the same thing, for different reasons. You will be taking in all the power of the omnipotent vessel. You shall not be familiar to humans like the servants. The man says so with satisfaction. To that, Saber replies, Archer, what is your intention? She must have realized that fighting is the only way. Saber asks for her enemy's reasons at the end. Intention? I do not remember. Unfortunately, I have obtained everything, so there is nothing I wish for. You know what? That tracks. This man has the world at his fingertips already. He's already the strongest. He can take whatever he wants. What? Then you do not seek the Holy Grail? The Holy Grail? Oh, immortality. I gave that to the snake. What? You gave immortality to a snake? Saber's presence freezes. What was that conversation? Saber shakes her head and tries to deny the word. Gave immortality to the snake, he says. The only thing I can think here is that Greg is referring to some sort of context from the Fourth War. Like, it feels like at some point Greg and Saber both had a mutual understanding that someone was a snake. Or maybe this is just trying to say that Greg really didn't care at all and just gave immortality to some random snake that caught his eye when it came time to wish. But no, wait, the Grail was destroyed. There could be no wish, right? Yeah, no, Kuritsugu ordered Saber with a command spell to destroy the Grail. There was no wishing. Wait, so what is he talking about? But this world is interesting. The basic principles do not change, but the decorations are so elaborate that it seems different when it has come this far. In this case, it will not be too bad to reign over this world. Yes, I think that is my intent. If it will let me do that efficiently, the Holy Grail is not without use. The desire to rule? You are despicable, Archer. You seek the Holy Grail for such a purpose? I do not seek it. Everything in this world is mine. I just do not like others using what is mine. You too should hate having your holy sword used by strangers, King of Knights. Saber's body grows misty. After a brief flash, Saber is wearing her silver armor. Oh! The man does not even move. In the next instant, Saber dashes forward. She runs up to the man instantly and slashes her invisible sword with deadly speed. Repelled, Saber jumps backward. If Saber's armor is materialized from her magical energy, his armor must be the same as well. Oh, don't tell me his armor's powerful enough to deflect Excalibur. For the love of God. In the short battle, the enemy has armed himself. Saber looks calmly at Archer, holding her sword ready. Even with her stare, the man does not stop smiling. All right. I shall allow you to oppose me, Saber. The enemy happily announces the beginning of the battle. The white light runs through the darkness. Saber, running up to the Golden Knight without hesitation, slashes her sword down, surrounded by lightning. One blow, 2, 3, 4. Each time Saber's sword finds the enemy, blinding light is released. Combinations like a strobe. It's just like when I first saw Saber when she fought Lancer. Saber drives magical energy into her sword and strikes with it like lightning. But I don't think Greg summoned any weapons, so... The sword and armor clash. The man hasn't even drawn his weapon yet. With Saber's sword in front of him, he is just protecting his head with his hands. That man does not have the skill to block Saber's sword. Saber is much better than this man at sword techniques. And on top of that, Saber's sword is invisible. Even if the man had a weapon, I don't think he would be able to block that invisible sword. The invisible sword keeps hitting the man's armor. The sword smashes against the armor, shaves it, letting off lightning sparks. All the man can do is protect his head with his hands. This isn't even a match. This is just one-sided elimination. But still, the golden armor retains its shape. If the armor is free of damage even after taking Saber's attack so many times, could it be that his noble phantasm is his golden armor? Heh, I guess any more would be bad. You certainly do have a large supply of magical energy. My armor does not give out often, but... Oh, so maybe it was making progress then. The enemy who was merely defending raises his arm. Not towards Saber. I don't know why, but the man raises his hand to the night sky and... Enough playing around. Offer me your body right here. Is it an illusion? In his hand. A short sword like a key is in his hand. Oh god, is that the Keyblade? Kingdom Hearts? Hello? To quote Saber, "I'll never let you take Kairi's heart," or whatever. I played the first Kingdom Hearts. I don't really know anything about the rest. Saber attacks with all her power, but the enemy repels it with this dark red sword. That is a noble phantasm bearing a curse of vengeance. Saber distances herself and glares at the sword in her enemy's hand. The fact that the enemy has revealed his weapon is a threat. But at the same time, it means that the enemy's attacks are revealed. It doesn't matter if his noble phantasm is a sword or armor. As long as you can see it, you're able to deal with it. Saber readies herself. As the man said, his armor is at its limit. If Saber relaunches her fierce barrage of attacks, she should be able to slash him through his armor. Even if he has brought out his noble phantasm, it won't make a difference to the fact that the next blow will decide the match. This is it. Let us decide the match we could not finish before, Archer. The sword in her hands is still invisible. Readying the holy sword sealed in wind, Saber stares at her enemy. It seems Saber knows what that noble phantasm is. That's why she intentionally distanced herself, and since she knows how to deal with it, she's confronting the enemy straight on. If their noble phantasms are swords, and if the sword's abilities are equal, the deciding factor will be their own sword techniques. By that theory, Saber has to win. Alright, then come at me. In deference to your sword, I shall show you everything I have. The man laughs. Fine. Saber charges without hesitation. Saber's sword will slash his armor for sure. The instant I think that, Gate of Babylon. An invisible door opens behind the man. What? Saber's body stops. The weapons the enemy takes are different from the previous dark red sword. The first is an invisible sword like Saber's. As soon as Saber defends against it, the man is holding yet another sword. This sword is of ice. She twists her body to avoid it, but the space the sword goes through freezes. Saber retreats, covered in ice. As the ice starts to break, the enemy holds a sickle-like weapon. She instantly tries to block the weapon approaching her neck with her gauntlet, but it's useless. The sickle goes through her arm like the gauntlet isn't there and takes away her magical energy. Oh. Maybe instead of, cutting off her arm, it, harvested magical energy out from her. Uh-oh. As if cutting away her bone and not her flesh and blood. Saber totters, but manages to stay standing. It is a different kind of retreat now. Not to distance herself and prepare for the next attack. It's a desperate retreat, just to get away from the enemy. That is impossible. Saber glares at the enemy, drawing magical energy into her arm. Many handles are floating around the man. That's what slaughtered Castor. And those are the noble phantasms of the Golden Knight who cornered Saber. Yo. That's a lot of noble phantasms. It's a scene that makes even me want to doubt my own eyes. Those handles floating behind him are surely those of noble phantasms. Not just 10 or 20. No. Even though I can't see them, I can feel that they are infinite. Unlimited blade works? Hello? From all times and places. As if to say, that servant has all the divine mysteries from every legend. Archer, who are you? Saber's voice is trembling. A servant will not answer when asked their true identity. But the enemy's noble phantasm is so strange that Saber has to ask. Answer me, Archer. A heroic spirit can only have one noble phantasm. No, some have more, but 2 should be the limit. A heroic spirit with infinite noble phantasms cannot exist. Cannot exist? You are jumping to conclusions, Saber. Heroic spirits' noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. So this is a simple story. All these noble phantasms are things I collected while I was alive. Oh. That's a cool idea. Huh. Are you insulting me, Archer? That is even more impossible. No matter who you are, it would be impossible for you to collect all the noble phantasms, the symbols of other heroic spirits. No such heroic spirit exists. Saber is right. All the noble phantasms he has are real. There are demonic swords from Northern Europe, and demonic swords from South America. No hero made his name in so many different places. And first of all, only Lancer has Gaia Bolga. Heroic spirits' noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. By that rule, as soon as he has Gaia Bolga, he has to be Cuchulainn. But he isn't Cuchulainn, so that lance cannot be Gaia Bolga. But the thing is, that is definitely the real Gaia Bolga. This could be all explained if it was a fake, but as long as it's real, this contradiction is... No, hold on. Original. The model of weapon? It can't be. But wait. It is possible. Myths and legends do not start from nothing. All myths have common points because a single foundation became their model. Because the legends that become objects of faith are only those that originate in that land. I think demonic swords and holy swords start having special abilities around that time. So, you're saying that Greg is like the original hero, the hero who all heroes sprang forth from. Okay. So, before that, what if the noble phantasm in myths and legends had a form before they were given names? Oh, it seems your master is not so bad after all. It seems he has a hunch about my true identity. Huh? Saber looks towards me. So far away. I can't even help her if she's so far away. My body has only recovered to the point where I can barely move my fingers. Run, Saber. His noble phantasm is... real, right? Yes, it is really simple, Saber. Let me tell you about the most ancient time, when the world was still one. That kingdom flourished, and the king collected every treasure in the world. There was nothing he could not collect, and he lacked nothing. The king had a perfect treasury, and the masses of weapons in there were never used, but instead went to sleep with the king. The story is that simple. After the king's death, the contents of the treasury room spread all over the world. They were valued because they were splendid swords, and they eventually became noble phantasms. Do you understand, King of Knights? The noble phantasms you use are just the king's possessions. It's like inheritance. If you go back far enough, a model must exist. So it's only natural for every legend, myth, folklore, and noble phantasm to have an original model. And in the distant past, if it was possible to collect all of their models, then one could possess all of the noble phantasms. Only one hero could correspond to that. One with origins and a legend far older than that of King Arthur or Heracles. One said to rule over ancient Mesopotamia. The half-god, half-human king who collected treasures as he wished and sought immortality at the end. His name was Gilgamesh, mankind's oldest king of heroes. She sounds as if holding back fear. The Golden Knight, Gilgamesh, accepts the shock with satisfaction. Okay. It's finally time to say why I was calling Gilgamesh Greg. So, there's a video game franchise I really love with all my heart, Final Fantasy. And in that franchise, there is a recurring character named Gilgamesh. He is a dimension-hopping weapon collector who appears as a boss fight in numerous Final Fantasy games, and it is strongly implied that it's the exact same character the entire time, hence the dimension hopping. And anyway, Gilgamesh appears in the MMO Final Fantasy XIV, which I play and love. He appears in a side quest series, a comedy-focused side quest that I actually really want to do a Let's Play of in the near future, because it's hilarious and I love it, and it's the best thing ever. And like the characters that Gilgamesh interacts with, none of them can remember his name or pronounce it, so they just call him Greg. And he just kind of rolls with it. So that's why I've been calling this Gilgamesh Greg. He's Greg to me now. And also, for that matter, a kind of catchphrase that Gilgamesh says in Final Fantasy, like before every battle in all the games, he says, "Enough expository banter. Let us fight like men. And ladies. And ladies who fight like men." Yeah, he says that. Fight like men, and ladies who fight like men. And I just think that is incredibly apt for Saber. It works so well. She is a lady who fights like a man, so it all just clicks for me, you know? But moving forward, I'm just gonna call him Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh is the coolest fucking name ever made by mankind. It is. It is a joy to say. It is a joy to tremble before. Gilgamesh. Yeah. Let's continue. Indeed, I am the strongest heroic spirit. You shall be no match. And maybe the most horrifying thing about this is that because every noble phantasm is his, he will immediately recognize every hero. He'll know every heroic spirit on sight. And the Golden Knight moves forward. There's nothing else to talk about. All that remains is for him to use his many noble phantasms to defeat his enemy. Oh? You would still oppose me even after you know my name. You must know you have no chance of winning. I do not know unless I try. Even the King of Heroes must have something he cannot surpass. Saber's surroundings waver. The wind starts to twirl and becomes a raging gale to protect her. At the same time, the golden sword appears. No, Saber! It can't be. Saber's going to use the Excalibur? Gilgamesh stops. He too must know the Holy Sword's power as his composure vanishes. Saber keeps staring at Gilgamesh and looks in my direction for an instant. So, yeah, I guess because even the narrations or Shirou's inner thoughts have stopped calling this man Archer, I guess Gilgamesh is what he's officially known as. Because like I said, like way back in the day, the original 7 servants from this visual novel are the Saber, the Archer, the Caster, the Berserker, etc. Every other servant is known by the fandom, but as their real identity, so Gilgamesh it is. Is she telling me to run? Gilgamesh has his back to the river, and Saber is over here. It must have been when she attacked him earlier. Before I realize it, Saber is confronting Gilgamesh to protect me. No, you can't use it here. I pour strength into my limbs. Even if I try to move my numb body, all I can move is one of my arms. But I still collect all the magical energy in my body to raise my body with that one arm. Damn it! My senses were gone, but every bone in my body starts to scream once I start moving. The pain is a warning. The pain is telling me I will break if I move any further. I ignore it and raise my body up. I bear my pain. I don't have time to deal with it. I have to get up quickly and God damn it, Shirou. I'm actually starting to get mad at this man. Because I have a bad feeling about this. A premonition I felt when I faced that enemy. She will never be able to beat him. The instinctive feeling that I should never let Saber fight him won't go away. A holy sword, huh? Fine. The twirling wind is now a raging storm. Even with the holy sword shining in front of him, the Golden Knight does not back away. Moreover, then I shall use a weapon appropriate against it. He pulls an incongruous sword from the gate behind him. Whoa. That looks like it was made for him. Is this the noblest noble phantasm? The nobliest, yeah. That's the cause of my bad feeling. That sword does not appear in any legend. I could identify every one of the noble phantasms that were floating behind him, but even I cannot tell what that sword is. I have the original models of all the noble phantasms, but they are all nameless, and I am not their only possessor. A cylindrical sword. The sword is made of 3 parts, and each part is turning slowly in different directions. What? It looks like a rock drill to pierce through a hard surface. Oh. But this is different. This sword is truly a sword that only the King of Hero possesses. It has no name, so I just call it Emiya. I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay, I'm sure Emiya is something to do with Babylonian mythology. Are you saying we should just compare the strengths of our noble phantasms? The light concentrates. There's only about 10 meters between them. Within that distance, Gilgamesh shouldn't even be able to dodge her attack. Right. You do not need to hold back. I have always wanted to take the swords to be the most powerful. His laughter echoes through the park. She must consider that provocation. Alright. Then try to defend yourself against my sword. Saber's sword moves. Her lips move to say its true name. There's nowhere to run now. The noble phantasm released with its true name will smash all of its power into Gilgamesh. It's your turn. Wake up, Iya. The cylindrical sword, Iya, roars. In response to Gilgamesh's words, the three blades turn with a whirring sound. If Saber's Excalibur brings on a whirlwind by releasing the wind, Gilgamesh's Iya creates a storm by swallowing the surrounding winds. You know what? I should turn on voices. This is a hype moment. I should do that. I got so lost in this, I forgot. X. Saber is more experienced with anti-castle and noble phantasms. It is faster than Iya's roar. Saber pours magical energy into the sword up to its limit in the matter of seconds and executes it with the greatest power. There it is. There's no hesitation. Saber releases the holy sword that can even split a river in two. Just before that,
Emiya Shirou.
a light of the same magnitude takes on Excalibur's light. Oh. Okay, I don't think Shirou made it clear. A huge impact. The raging wind knocks over trees, and the crashing lights become an exploding sun, burning my eyes. No, my body is almost blown away by the wind. I managed to dig myself into the ground with one hand and endure the waves of light and heat. How long will the conflict last? The battle of the two rumblings that make me fear the earth is going to split into two is... suddenly ended, with her figure surrounded by a white light. Huh. Oh. That's gonna leave a crater. A crash. I hear something falling right beside me. What it is, I can tell even with my blinded eyes. Ooh. That's not good. I thought she might be dead. That's how torn up Saber is. In the distance, the Golden Knight is laughing crazily, unscathed.
人類最強の聖剣とやらもその程度か。人間の幻想など、所詮子供魂よな。
So the most powerful holy sword is only that strong, huh? Humanity's illusions are mere child's play after all. Okay. Time to turn voices back off. We've heard enough. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. His laugh is high-pitched, and it seems like it will carry over the burning air into the heavens. Is it that much fun? He doesn't even look at Saber as he laughs only for his own sake. Saber. Status screen updated. Let's take a moment until there's like music. There's no reply. But blood gushes out from her mouth as she tries to gasp. My vision turns red. What was I doing? I knew this was going to happen. I knew Saber wouldn't be able to beat Gilgamesh, so why didn't I stop her or even use my command spell? But this is rather boring. A complete victory for me, huh? I am disappointed that you could not even offset my attack, Saber. Oh, I see. I should have taken it easier on you. After all, I am fighting women and children. And fuck this guy. His irritating laugh. The responsibility is mine. Okay, let's have a look at that status screen. True name, Gilgamesh. A half-god, half-human king that ruled the Sumerian city-state of Uruk in the years before Christ. Not merely a legend, he is said to have actually existed. He was the king of heroes whose tale is recorded in mankind's oldest epic poem, the Epic of Gilgamesh. So divine as to be 2/3 god and 1/3 human, no others in the world could match him. He was an ultimate transcendent being that possessed all things in the world. He was originally a tyrant who did not care about his people, but his behavior slowly changed after he gained a friend called Enkidu. Enkidu was created by the goddess Aruru in response to the prayers of the people who suffered under Gilgamesh's oppression. Enkidu and Gilgamesh met as fated, and they strongly affected each other. At first, Gilgamesh feared Enkidu as his enemy, but the two came to understand each other soon after, recognized each other as equals, and worked together to rule the country. With Enkidu, Gilgamesh defeated the Humbaba, guardian of the forest, beast of the gods, and became the greatest and richest king on earth. After this, Gilgamesh was so powerful that even the gods could not ignore his existence. One goddess fell in love with this Gilgamesh. Ishtar, the goddess of fertility, proposed marriage to Gilgamesh, the perfect king, but he rejected her immediately. Wow, what a Chad. Okay, wait, no. There's Chad, and then there's Gilgamesh. Chadicus. This was because he knew her to be a witch, unfaithful, cruel, and the corrupter of all men. Oh, maybe not then. Ishtar became furious, feeling that Gilgamesh had insulted her. To get revenge, she went to her father, the god Anu, and persuaded him to unleash the Bull of Heaven. Because of this unstoppable beast of the gods, 7 years of starvation and destruction hit the earth. Gilgamesh and Enkidu cooperated and faced the Bull of Heaven, and successfully defeated it. The goddess's reputation was once again crushed. Ishtar's fury, of course, did not abate, and she asked the gods of death to give death to one of the men, as it was a sin for a human to kill the beast of the gods. Ishtar's wish was granted, and since he was created by the gods, Enkidu could not resist the command, and slowly weakened to death. This began Gilgamesh's downfall. Gilgamesh was shocked by the fact that death could come to even a friend of power equal to his. He was tormented by the fear of his death, and he finally traveled to the netherworld in search of immortality. At the end of a long journey and many hardships, Gilgamesh obtained the miraculous elixir of immortality. But on his way back, the elixir was stolen by stolen by a snake while he was bathing, and Gilgamesh died of grief. It is said that the snake begins its life again in a new body after shedding its skin, because it stole Gilgamesh's medicine and drank it. Oh, that's cool. Nothing new here. Oh, Divinity B, A+. He has the capacity for greatness, but since Gilgamesh himself dislikes the god, the rank is reduced? Oh my god, this guy is just unreal. Okay. Gate of Babylon, King's Treasure. A sword that leads to the Golden Capital. It connects space and allows the user to freely take any tool from the treasure room. Needless to say, this noble phantasm will become stronger the more wealth a person has. Rank E through A++. Type anti-personnel. Range infinite, probably. Enuma Elish, star of creation that split heaven and earth. Good lord. Oh. What a name. Cutting of space by the sword of separation, Ea. A layer of wind, compressed and accelerated, becomes a fake layer of time and space that smashes all who oppose it. Its attack power is so strong that an elimination rank AC or a counterattack with an equivalent damage level is needed to defend against this noble phantasm. Damage is strength times 20, though magical ability may be added to strength at random. Oh, it's an anti-world type. Oh, okay. Its maximum damage is 4,000. But, with the support of the noble phantasms as its treasury, the damage increases even further. It has equal or superior output to Saber's Excalibur, and it is a sword that cut apart the world. Yeah, so Gilgamesh has an ego the size of a planet, and it is completely warranted. Alright then. I could end things here, but no, let's go a little bit further, maybe. I thought she could win. No matter how bad it felt, I thought Saber's Excalibur would be able to beat him. That's why even though I told her to stop, my command spell didn't react. I wasn't serious. If I really wanted to protect Saber, I could have made her run away using my command spell, and there would have been infinite ways for me to fight by myself. You know what? What if Shirou had uttered, "Put all your power into this next blow," or, "Make this attack your most powerful in the world," or whatever. If Saber was boosted by the command spell, could she have beaten Gilgamesh in that moment? Uh-oh. Oh no, I have the hiccups. Oh, it's a sign I should have stopped. Uh-oh. Hello? Okay, I just had one hiccup. Okay. Well then, let me have you now. You are dirtied, but you would have eventually ended up the same way. It is no problem that you are hurt now. The laughter approaches. She must have noticed that as Saber faintly opens her eyes. Saber, are you alright? I can see her breathing, but I can't touch her even if I reach out. My body still won't move, and I can't even run to her. So I can only call out to her. Alright, yeah, I'm taking it as a sign. I should end here. This is a great place to pick things back up next time. So Gilgamesh is an asshole, and a creep, and a monster. But he's also really cool, and he deserves it. Gilgamesh is cool, the Epic of Gilgamesh is cool. You know what? I have a huge soft spot for really, really old myths. Like, ancient myths. Like, we're talking the oldest tales of humanity. The Epic of Gilgamesh, Journey to the West. Chef's kiss. You know what? I wonder if somewhere in the Fate franchise, the extended franchise, I wonder if Sun Wukong actually did become a servant. That'd be amazing. Well, hey, you know what? I think that Archer, that's Rin's Archer, might be Chinese. Maybe he's someone from the Journey to the West. Like, it's a long story with a lot of characters. Like, maybe... No, I don't think Archer could be any of the core cast, because, like... I don't think Sun Wukong ever wielded blades or a bow. He was all about his extending staff, that he was a pillar from the Jade Palace. Wait, was it for the Jade Palace? I forget. Anyway, Pigsy is right out. Sandy... Archer doesn't strike me as being a river spirit. And Tripitaka was like a pacifist monk. Wait, wasn't there a white dragon? Yeah, part of the crew was like a white dragon that took the form of a horse for Tripitaka to ride on. No, that's not a man. Okay, look, even Ryder possibly being a Gorgon is pushing it, because Gorgons are half human, half snake. Yeah, I don't think you could actually have just like a literal dragon as a servant. Plus, that's kind of stepping on Saber's toes, because she's inside her spiritual energy is like manifesting as a red dragon, so I don't know. Whatever, well, anyway, I'm incredibly scared and terrified for Saber, and I hope I don't know what Gilgamesh is about to do to her, but I hope it's PG. Like when he says take her, maybe he's like picking her up, like tying her up with a rope and like flying away with her or whatever. Not the other kind. Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Fate Stay Night. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time for part 60. So until then, take care.